Okay YouTube, here's 5 ways that you can improve yourself. Number 1. Human contact and support for false copyright claims, for any issues you have with YouTube in general. Just now, all we have is an automated claims process that allows a YouTuber to, in air quotation marks, fight a false copyright claim. That is it. That is all the support YouTube is willing to offer their beloved creators. Now, this is just not enough. If someone were to claim, let's say, Nostalgia Critics videos, how can they fight them? Even if they're wrong, even if they're false claims, how can they fight them? Well, by following the appeals process, which doesn't frickin' work. It takes too long, it's a lot of mess, a lot of hassle, and usually ends up working out poorly for, well, poor old Doug. Why is this a problem? Well, it's kind of obvious. There's no human support, there's no human contact, everything goes through a bloody machine. And that is just something we can't keep living with. There has to be a human centre, there has to be some way we can get in contact with someone at YouTube who can fix the problems, who can look into the false copyright claims, who can look at a video that supposedly breaks copyright law, who supposedly goes against the terms and conditions of YouTube, inciting hate speech, stuff like that. There has to be someone who can look into this, rather than a bloody automated system which can be deceived, which can be fooled. Humans are not that easy to deceive, at least compared to an automated system that can pick up a sound wave 3 miles away and claim it as copyright. Speaking of terms and conditions there, YouTube, now I've had a quick glance over them and it seems all hunky-dory, no hate speech, no violence, no spam, no pornography. That's all well and good. It's YouTube, not RedTube. I don't want to see constant stream of pornography when I'm trying to look at, I don't know, peanut butter gamers videos or something, I don't know. I don't want to see a bunch of hate speech, I don't want to see a bunch of pro-ISIS or anti-Muslim movements on YouTube when I'm trying to watch friggin' PewDiePie. That is not what we want to see, and I'm glad that that's against terms and conditions. Or is it? Now, technically, yes, if you're uploading a no-no video, you should be punished, your video should be taken down swiftly by YouTube, and sometimes it is. But if you have a look on YouTube, you look hard enough, by that I mean searching in the bloody search bar, you will find straight up pornography, you will find murders, tortures, you will find spam aplenty. Take Soflo Antonio for example. The guy uploads the same videos every week, with the same misleading titles and thumbnails which have nothing to do with the actual video, and YouTube still lets him get away with it, even though that's against terms and conditions and anyone who does that should be harshly punished. But is he? No, of course not. When we're talking about YouTubers being punished, whether they should or shouldn't, you know who is actually punished? Innocent YouTubers who just make reviews, parodies, anything covered under fair use, and yet bigger companies can just come in, claim the videos, take all of the ad revenue, and piss off, leaving the defendant utterly defenceless in a way. There's nothing you can do because, again, the appeals process is handled by a freaking computer. There's no human support. Okay? Even if it doesn't break the terms and conditions, even if it doesn't break copyright law, someone can still come in, claim copyright, and just take the money and run away, even if they're wrong, which usually they are. Which leads me to my third point. Punishing companies and calling them out on their bullshit. Now, if, say, Nostalgia Critic was to make a 3-part series on Lord of the Rings, starting with Fellowship, then Two Towers, and then finally finishing with Return of the King, now, let's assume Peter Jackson was to claim all those videos. All 3 of them, even though they're covered under fair use and maybe even parody. Now, if he was to claim all of those videos, would he be punished if they were found out to be bullshit? Of course not. No, of course he wouldn't be punished. Should he? Yes, of course he should. If someone was to make a series of false claims against YouTubers and cause essentially a lot of hassle for YouTube and the defendants, they shouldn't get away with it. Now, I'm not saying they should be banned from placing copyright strikes, but they should be investigated. Every one that comes up should be investigated thoroughly before the claim is actually made. Someone should put in a claim for a video. Now, at that point, YouTube should investigate it and then see if it was actually copyright material used, if it was covered under fair use or not, and in that case put a claim on the video or tell the company to fuck off. Now, when I'm saying punishment for these companies who false claim, by that I essentially mean, as I've said, investigate them. Investigate all of their claims. Maybe put a limit on them. Because you know who is limited in claims? You know who is limited in how many videos they can defend at once? If a company can claim infinite number of videos, 60, 20, 100, 2,000, as many as they want to, why can a YouTuber only ever claim... why can a YouTuber only ever fight back 3 of those claims? Now, let's say for example that Nostalgia Critic had over 100 videos on his channel. At that point, every one of them is copyright claims. What can he do? Nothing. He can fight against 3 of those claims at once. That is it. He's limited to 3 battles. He can only fight 3 claims at once, whereas the same company can claim all of his videos. Hundreds of them, thousands of videos. Can be claimed at once by a single company, and yet the defendant can only ever fight against 3 of those claims. That's like playing chess with a very skilled opponent and limiting yourself to 3 moves. That is what's happening here. It is unfair and it's unethical. It is legal, but it's unethical. But you know what is illegal? False claims. Yeah. False claims, especially if the copyright material is actually covered under fair use. If what the creator is doing, if what the YouTuber is doing is covered under fair use, if it's covered under parodies or censor review, it's illegal for that to be claimed as copyright, because it does not infringe copyright law. It is protected by fair use. YouTube does not realise this. Since we're already talking about claims, I think we should go all out and talk about what YouTube should do when it comes to handling claims. As I've said, investigate the claims. They should handle them better. Investigate the claims, look into them, have their human contact team, their human support team actually look into these videos, check if they are copyright material or if they're protected under some law or loophole or guidelines or anything. And at the same time, obviously, if they're breaking terms and conditions, look into that too. Now, they should handle the claims better. The way they can handle the claims better is, well, let me explain. If a YouTube video is claimed as copyright, even if it's not, all of the ad revenue that's made from that video goes straight to the claimant. Okay, that's fair I suppose, in a way, it is their material as far as we know. But what if that claim is found out to be bullshit? What if it's one of those companies that target YouTubers, target the silent parts in their videos and claim it for copyright music infringement, just like what happened to I Hate Everything and his Damn Daniel video? What happens then? Does the YouTuber get the money back? Of course not. That money then goes to the bullshit company who claimed it illegally, and they still keep all the money. And if it happens when the video is just coming out and gets all of its views, well then you're fucked. That should happen. Well, it's very simple. Doug Walker himself said this. Put the money in a side account, put it separate. That way, after the claim is done, after the battle's over and done with, to the victor go the spoils. Whoever wins that case then gets all the money, all the ad revenue for that video, and claims ownership of the video. How do I put this properly? Let's assume, for example, that an insurance company falsely claimed that you owe them money simply because you have insurance with them, even if you don't. Even if the company doesn't even provide insurance, they can still claim that. Now, what if they were to claim that you owe them money for insurance you never had, a company that you've never even known about, had any contact with? What if they took money from your account constantly, over and over and over again, took thousands from you, hundreds of thousands? What happens if you then win the case, and it's proven that you have no legal obligation to give them money because they're not providing you with any services. You should not be giving them money. Now, in that situation, what if they got to keep your money? What if they could do that to an infinite number of people, an infinite number of times, get constant stream of money from them, and never be punished for it, even if they were wrong? That is what YouTube does when it comes to claims. They allow anyone to claim as many videos they want and not receive punishment, and get all the money for them, even if they're wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whatever the frick you call yourself if you're on Tumblr, that is 5 ways to make YouTube better. Now, of course, no one's really going to watch this video who can have any authority over what happens in YouTube. Hopefully though, the general YouTube community will get the general message across to the CEO, and shit can change. Of course it's not going to, but it's always worth fighting for. So to summarise, just in case you weren't listening, 1. We need human contact, we need human support for people who need it, instead of this automated system bullshit. Number 2. YouTube has to stick to and enforce their own community guidelines and punish those who constantly break them, so Flo Antonio. Number 3. Call companies out and call claims out on their bullshit and punish them if they're wrong. Number 4. Remove the frickin' 3 appeal process. And number 5. Just handle copyright and claims better. You have to. It's abysmal so far. You have to fix this, YouTube. Okay?